When this whole pandemic started, I thought a lot about my business legacy as a business owner. And how so? I thought about it because the future, like when I look back in 5, 10, 20 years down my business journey, I would look back on how I handled the 2020 pandemic. Uh, how did we weather the storm? How many layoffs did we have? How much hiring did we did? How did business do during the storm? And I thought a lot about that through like a mirror, looking back in the future, how I would want to view what I do now. So I thought a lot about that, and I really wanted to make it my goal to not have any layoffs during the pandemic because I thought that would be a really fantastic story to tell the future of everything, my wife, my kids, whatever, whoever ever actually asks, how I handled the 2020 coronavirus pandemic. And I'm happy to say, so far, no layoffs. There's not been a single goose egg, zero layoffs so far this pandemic, and I don't expect there will be. I don't like to say never, but there is not foreseen to be any layoffs. It's been a little bit crazy right now, honestly. We're losing a little bit of money on a regular basis here, primarily because the spring testing season for schools are normally one of our busiest times of the year, and that pretty much evaporated. So that was a bit of a curveball I didn't plan for, but if you want to learn how to swim, the best way is to burn your boat, and when that happened, I pretty much had to come up with a new way to create revenue at a time when demand was not high, and the Savings Club was born. As of today, 149 members right now, growing every day, and that's an incredible value, not to mention a great way to even out cash flow. It's good for the business, it's good for the customers, good for everybody involved. Fantastic opportunity. I suggest you consider it. But it forced me to come up with that, and a lot of stuff we do here is kind of labor intensive. It's a lot of packing, counting, things like that to go on. And when the next busy season comes, come say June, especially July, when that time comes, instead of being caught up in all the mundane counting and packing work, all that will already have been done. And using the inventory system, we know how much of things to make based off of estimations and data we had last year and this year so far. So we're pretty much essentially front loading a bunch of the work they're doing right now to prep. That's a phone call here, but doing the prep work right now to be able to be ready for when it gets busier later on again. And that's how I managed to keep everybody employed so far during the pandemic. You hear left and right people letting people go, unemployment business owners. First thing to do, let's cut employees, and there's lots of good ones out there. But there's also a lot that are much more willing to protect themselves versus their employees. And I want to do both. I care about my employees, I care about myself, but yes, I care about the employees. And happy to say, no layoffs so far in the 2020 COVID-19 pandemic.